There you go. All right. So I don't know how many of you were able to, maybe I don't know if I can't do a show of hands, obviously, but you see your screen? Okay. So, oh, great. Oh, no, that's my hand. Okay, that's the icon here. So can I see, maybe we can throw in the chat, or maybe we can throw in icons or something like that, reactions. Who's actually had a chance, who's actually finished homework 2? I want to make sure you have time to do homework 2. I didn't know how many, most people work just before deadlines. So far, I see no reactions to homework, having done homework 2. Okay. Oh, part 1 and 2. Okay. Okay. First of all, is there anything that I can unpack for you guys or clarify for you? I'm hoping it was not meant to be some Herculean task or anything like that. Every once in a while, I had somebody in 2400 bit 2400. I'm like, oh, okay, this is what you're doing for the assignment. Like, I spent 12 hours doing. I'm like, it's not. It's supposed to be like two hours, right? So I don't want to make. I want to make sure you're not spinning your wheels. Yes, I don't actually expect my 1400 and 2400 homeworks to spend hours and hours on them. It's so I need to teach how to develop incrementally versus trying to do all at once. Then guess your measurement, or you can actually do the, I would just get a ruler and just assume the certain measurement of the radius. Because you have the bar itself, so you could just measure across the top. And by the way, we're not going to be breaking out the calculator ourselves on this. It's more, does it look like a legitimate or realistic measure of lie factor? Not, oh my God, they got 4.72 and it's actually a 4.39. It's wrong, right? It's not nothing like that. There's a Tableau question in homework 2, though, right? I'm hoping, because that's what we're going to do for that. Yeah, okay. So I don't know how many people have installed Tableau yet. I'm just going to open up a text file, a CSV file in Tableau, and play with some data. So we're not doing anything crazy like Tableau server. You can spend, I have students last term that, that's their life, is just dealing with Tableau every single day, and they become experts like Excel. If anyone's an expert in Excel, you know how long it took you to get to that point. Most people don't. Most people, they store data in it. They don't know how to run the various, make a report in it. They don't know how to do all these calculations, how to drop the lowest end values, that sort of thing. The length of those. So both would be fine as long as you make a claim one way or the other. I would go with the volume of the cylinder myself, and then just pi r. It's pi r squared, 1 pi r squared, then multiplied by the height, right? So it's the area of the circle multiplied by the height. And since you can calculate the radius by just measuring half the width of the bar, which would be the radius, then you should be fine for that calculation. And then do you go what you're visible seeing? I would actually go underneath and where I expect the bar to be, either where I expect the cylinder to end. So even in the invisible part, to calculate what the expected volume would be. But you don't have to. You can also say, like, I'm only doing the visible part because that's the only part that's hitting your retina, essentially. It's the only part that you're seeing. So it depends on how you want to interpret things. But just state your assumptions when you're doing it. Well, you would have to find the area to calculate the volume because it's the area multiplied by the height. If that makes sense, right? It's the area of the cylinder and then the height all the way up and down. So they give you the volume, which I know you guys have done in high school or junior high school. So I have to always look up some of these things myself. So I want to look at a data set just in case you haven't done Tableau. I want to look at a data set, and by the way, I can easily screw up Tableau easily enough, but I'm going to look at a data set and see how things go with that. So I'm just playing around here. So just in case you're wondering, I found, this is my COVID data set that I found from Open Ottawa. I'm actually going to be using it, the lab starter file, 2 weeks from now for D3. So I just made a CSV file with a bunch of data. Like I took the CSV file from Open Ottawa, changed the headers to make it a bit shorter so readable, because otherwise the header, the titles for these various headers were like this long. I'm just going to open that data set. And there we go. I'm done. Now, I always find this a little confusing myself. I always think I want to add a bunch of stuff or do a bunch of stuff with this because it is part of the data processing step. But if we have clean data, we don't need to do anything. We're fine. We're done. So I'm going to make so this is our worksheet. I'm going to make a new, so I'm going to make a new worksheet. I'm going to make a new, I have all the, and so I have all the data. I'm going to move stuff over. So let me start with what I did before. I have like, I want the word. I want the name of the word. I don't know the word numbers. I know the names. Yes, you should. So I should be making sure I show you my screen. Thank you. I'm going to have to restart the whole thing. Okay, hold on. That is a very, very, very astute point. Thank you. And that's what I like to see. There you go. Screen sharing. There we go. Share that. Ugh. I hope I didn't just screw things up. Cancel that. Okay. I'm going to open Tableau. I had already opened Tableau, but I just closed it off just now. All right. Download when I quit. Okay. So I'm opening a new text file. You can see my screen now, right? Hopefully. Thank you for asking, by the way. I'm going to open the COVID Ottawa dataset. This is just a dataset that I had sitting around. I'm actually using for another assignment or for one of the later labs. And I'm going to open this. And I'm looking for where my chat message is so I can put that on this window. It's not showing up. Okay, here is my data set. I always want to just do more work on it, but I don't think I need to do any more work on this. That's the file. I don't need to union my files or anything like that. Right now, it's a simple data file that I'm reading in. If you have multiple data sources, you need to merge them. This is what you normally do with the database, but we're not getting into this. This is not a database class. And I'm going to make a brand new worksheet. Now, this is a new dashboard. So we can do dashboards, we can do data sets, we can do stories. And a story is just a sequence of visualizations one after the other so you can see how things, like on this day, it looked like this. On this day, it looked like this, and see progression over time. I'm going to look at ward number, not ward number, because ward numbers are not that useful. I want the ward name. And I'm going to look at this. And here's what I thought when I was doing this. I went, okay, columns and rows. Well, a column, if I'm talking about a spreadsheet, a record would be a row in the spreadsheet, like the spreadsheet database. A row would be a record. And so I'm going to plop that in there. It's wrong, by the way, but we'll see that in a second. And then I want to see like the 14-day, I can't remember what LTC stands for, but it stands for something, for a 14-day window of time for people with, testing positive for COVID. Okay. By the way, this is going to be wrong, but I wanted to hit the same problems that, other people might get. And I want to see a bar chart. So I can choose what kind of marks. Hey, look, marks and channels all over again. Bars, lines, arrows, circles, squares, shapes, text, maps. I can do a whole bunch of maps. I can do a Gantt bar chart. I can do a pie chart. They're all there, right? So, crap. It's the wrong way. I wanted to go the other way. I could keep it this way. That's fine. But I really want it the other way. So let's move it down here, up here, and I'm good. Now, you can also do the show me thing, which sounds sort of, I don't know, sounds wrong. show me how I could do it or what kind of visualizations I could use. There's so many options in Tableau that it's sort of overwhelming. Most of it is you hunt and peck, just like in Excel, just like in Word, just like in anything else that you do in Visual Studio. At some point in time, that's part of the job. Is you don't know where it is, look around, find out if you can find it. And it's not something you memorize, it's something you discover. And that's actually why you do the graphic user interface, is that you don't memorize, you recognize. And so I have this bar chart, and I might want to look at the word, it's college. Oh, college is doing terrible on this one. This is the one I was expecting. So this is a recent surge in a 14-day period. If I actually did a different one, let's move this one over. Notice we'll get both bar charts. There we go. That's what, oh, college is still doing terrible. Huh. Oh, that's why. So let's do a 30-day total. And let's move that off. That's more what I expected. Southgate has been consistently doing terribly for most of this time. So that's why I was like, why is college doing so badly compared to before? So this is a 30-day total number of COVID cases in the various wards in Ottawa over a 30-day period. And I could represent it a bunch of different ways. I could change, so I can look at color. I can use color to do different things or to choose different color schemes. I can choose different borders. I can encode things with color. It's just a channel. So I could, let me see here. This is going to be a stupid one, but let's make, there we go. I'm using the color to encode the word number, which is pretty stupid because, quite frankly, the word number is, each one of them is unique. So every single bar should be a different color, which is not, that's kind of dumb, but I could do it. Or I could just remove it and go back to normal. Oh, actually, no, I want to see what the heck the number here is. So let's see. I want to annotate. I can annotate it. I could do a drop line. So I can show the drop line. So every time I go over here, it says what it's connected to. Or I can annotate it. Let's do the annotation. And I'm going to put a mark label. Let's always show it. There you go. 333. And maybe I want to see this one here as well. So that whether I'm looking at it or not, I've pointed out this one's important. This one's important. Oh, maybe I should do this one as well. Okay. And so I see the numbers that I'm really caring about. I don't show it to every one of them, just the ones I'm caring about. I can have the tooltips do different things. So I can check on the tooltip, moved on to another screen. So I'll move it over here. And it's going to say what the two different fields I'm showing are. But I can add other fields and see what's in there. I can change the name of this thing here. So edit title and move it over here. And something like that. And oh, I don't like this at all. So let's instead, so I want to show this. I want to, let me do this. I don't want that. I want to change my alias, rotate label. There you go. Because I can't see all of this stuff. Gloucester Southgate is being clipped off at GLO, right? I want to show the whole thing. Great. I can look at individual parts. Oh, let's do one more thing. Let's look at that total 30-day. Oh, cases cumulative might be a nice one. And now I have two bar charts, one after the other, total 30 days, but they have the same aligned axis, so they just align with one another. I don't need to worry about the colors. In fact, one of the world experts in colors for visualizations actually worked at Tableau, or at least as a consultant there. I can also change what kind of bar chart I have. Like, boom, that's not going to be very useful. It's a bit better, but not that useful, right? I could just choose what kind of bar charts I want. That's a pretty terrible bar chart. But let's go back to what we had before. Oh, and I need to, the word and the case, cumulative cases have been swapped around. No, I wanted that. There we go. And why is that? No, that's the column should be down here. The word should be here. There we go. We're back to normal. And I can remove, I can put back in the total, 30-day total or something like that. No, notice this would be, these are strictly numbers on this side here, so that you can see, they know that this is going to be dependent data. The data that spent, like when the word number changes, this data changes. I'm not sure why the LTC 14 days popping up here, but I know that it happens to also be dependent data. It depends on the word. Come on. Oh, it's because I have two different things. Let's just remove it. There you go. I can show what kind of details I have. I can change the color of things. I can use the size. I can measure the size. So let's say this. It allows me to play with my data. I'm not worrying about how to code it. I'm just dragging and dropping stuff. And now you've done something very similar to this, presumably with Data Wrapper. And I don't have enough experience with Data Wrapper myself to have played with it. So I'm thinking what we should do, at least this is my opinion on this, is this is a good thing to play around with, at least to get some experience. So you can say you did Tableau, because later on, if somebody asks you for, give me a graph of something, or if you're playing with data, it allows you a quick and easy first step in how you want to explore and analyze your data. So for example, this is the total cumulative cases. And what stands out, here is the problem right now, unfortunately, in Ottawa. It's Gloucester Southgate. It is a particular area of town near my house, unfortunately. And here's, oh, this is actually where I am. Also, really terrible place, right? This is my area of town, right? One of the two hottest areas of town are where I am currently living. It's not good, right? These are the areas where you would need more services or more support, or you would have to figure out why COVID-19 is spreading around so rapidly in that area. And it's been fairly consistently hitting these two regions in town, right? I want to know why those two regions. Maybe what I want to do is I might want to filter out things that are below 500. So I can say case cumulative. I can put that in the filter. And okay, how do you want to filter case cumulative based on the, let's say, the sum of the values, average value? Oh, let's go to the average value. I want to filter out, so this is the maximum number. I want to filter out everything below 200, let's say. Oh, there's a lot of things below not many things below 200. That's really depressing. Let's change that up again. And filter. And let's say 400, because that's, save apply. Okay, there you go. I can filter out some of my data. I only want to see the top performing words in Ottawa and how crappy they're doing, right? So here are the places where it's not a great place for COVID-19 right now. If your word is not in there, you're doing you're doing at least okay. If you're in Southgate, yeah, that's a tough place to be right now. Well, Alta Vista is not much better, which is where I am. And it's also just directly north of it. So it's the east end of Ottawa that's actually hitting all these problems. What I'm asking for this assignment is just to play around with most of the stuff and try different things, like try using color for, we could use past 14 days and we'll use that on color. There you go. So not only do we have the numbers, we know if we can also see, like in the past 14 days, how bad it has been. So 6, 4, 18. Gloucester Southgate is still doing terribly. Alta Vista is doing better in terms of the past 14 days, but Gloucester Southgate is still doing terribly. And college, suddenly, that's a recent trend, how bad college is doing. Same with Bay. And you can play around with a lot. But most of this is play around with it, save it, play around with it some more, save it. And if you want, what you can do, hopefully, I could make a particular story. I can add a particular caption. I then grab one of my sheets, like sheet 2. I should be able to grab my sheet. This is my... Should be able to drag a sheet, though. Story. Oh, there you go. That dragged from there. There you go. I have to relearn it every time. And I can put it in that sheet. And I can go to the next part of my story. And what the idea of a story is that I can go, I'm telling a series of, I show a sequence of visualization. So you look at how COVID was looking last month. And now you have another visualization, how COVID looks this month. And I have another visualization, how it, the overall trend over time, or whatever the case is. It could be greenhouse emissions 10 years ago, greenhouse emissions 5 years ago, greenhouse emissions today, and then expected greenhouse emissions in the future. That would be a story. It allows you to to explain your things in a linear way, which is really kind of nice. So this is a story. I don't even think we need to do a story per se for this assignment, but this is just another option. It's another tool in your toolbox. I don't know if I want to go much further with this because I don't know how many people are just bored and don't know, they have no questions about this. So let's see if you guys have questions about, there we go. Yeah, I think long-term care. Where's the long-term care facility, Kara? Is it in Southgate? LTC. Oh, long-term care. Yes, thank you. This is the number of cases in long-term care facilities. That's right. And I should abbreviate it because I didn't want to write long-term care facility. And you could use a total count if you wanted to, which is what Rami is saying here. So I could use a count, but you can also, this one should have been not the average. Let's do total count. I wanted that one. Count. Well, the count is not going to be, those are independent things. So this would be a sum, actually, not the, I got rid of it. If I want to just change long-term care day, 14, I didn't want to do that. I wanted to use cumulative cases as a filter. I'm filtering the cumulative cases, but this is sum of cumulative cases. So I'm basing it off of, but this is the number of distinct, let's find out. No, that's the number of distinct boards. Each board's distinct because it's the independent variable. I always have to play around with this stuff. And we can also do a series of pages, by the way. So can I, let's see if I can clear anything out for anybody. So I just played with some of the stuff. By the way, I meant to make this as an announcement earlier. In case you're wondering, Rami, one of our TAs, has been doing a bunch of projects with Tableau. I don't get to play with Tableau very often. So not only could you ask me questions if you want, I'm not sure I'm better with other technologies than Tableau, but because it's, a lot of it is experience having done it enough times. But you can also ask Rami about any questions you have about Tableau because he's actually experienced, done a number of projects with it. So we have a number of people that can answer your questions if you have any that pop up, but most people don't seem to hit problems with it. In fact, I seem to have more problems using Tableau than most of my students. They end up just making these great visualizations and I go, oh, okay, you figured it out. Nice. So it has not been a source of problems in the past, but just in case, you can always ask us if you have any questions. Okay. What I'm going to do, the lab time today was not meant to be anything really. Yep, the TA should both, Remy, you're on Discord, right? You can, yeah, and you can do @teaching staff and you'll get all of three of us calling it to our attention. No problem. So what I was going to do is I'm going to leave this open. I'm probably going to mute myself, and we're just going to have you guys spend the time doing homework too. If you have any left to do with homework too, just to get it out of the way. And if you have questions, we're here. I don't have the labs. I could have properly formatted labs, but it's one of those things that I know I'm giving a lot of work throughout the week, each and every week. And therefore the labs are a dedicated time for you to do the homework for a lot of the time. Just to make sure that, you know, you have, I don't want to overwhelm you guys like I do in 2400 and 1400. No problem. So that's what we're here for right now. And if you have any, and where I'm more than happy to do other additional examples if you want, like another LieFactor if you wanted me to try that out.